Hi guys, and welcome to another video. So today's video is just a short one really, a bit of an update that Sunderland have now postponed their next 3 fixtures against Shrewsbury, Blackpool and Hull City, all due to the coronavirus and the COVID outbreak around the Academy of Light. So I will quickly read the statement that did come out of the club and then I'll give you my sort of thoughts on it. And that'll pretty much be it. It'll end up being a 2-minute video in all honesty, but I thought it'd be necessary to give a little update to you guys. I know there's some of you that don't really get too much news from Sunderland depending where you're from. Others just like to hear my opinion. I don't know why. Well, here is the statement anyway. Sunderland AFC has today informed the EFL that it will not be able to play its next 3 Sky Bet League One fixtures following an outbreak of COVID-19 at the Academy of Light. After one senior player tested positive for coronavirus on Monday, selected players and staff undertook additional testing and another 4 cases of coronavirus have now been confirmed. The individuals that have tested positive and those that have come into close contact with them are now observing a period of self-isolation at home. Following extensive dialogue and clear guidance from Public Health England, SAFC has taken the decision to close the Academy of Light with immediate effect for a 10-day period in order to protect its players and staff and to prevent the further spread of the virus. Chief Executive Officer James Rodwell said, "It is with a heavy heart that I have informed the EFL that we are unable to play our next 3 league fixtures. The welfare of our players, staff and opponents remains the number one priority, and following detailed conversations with the relevant authorities, we have also taken the responsible decision to close the Academy of Light for a 10-day period. On behalf of everyone at the club, I wish all of those affected a swift and complete recovery." Lee Johnson's side are scheduled to return to training on Sunday the 27th of December ahead of resuming their 2020-21 campaign at Accrington Stanley on Tuesday the 29th of December. So there it is, the official statement from the club regarding these next 3 fixtures. And for me, it's a massive shame, of course it is, but it's absolutely the necessary thing to do. The only thing that bugs me a little bit is, this really should have been a decision that was made before the Wimbledon game. I feel like we threw a couple of points away there, but football's football, health is health, and health is obviously the priority. It's just the way it worked out. We was in a bit of a grey area before the Wimbledon game. It came about so suddenly, and Lee Johnson was saying he was so frustrated before that game. Every time we'd select a lineup, a good few hours before the kickoff, another 2 or 3 players would have to drop out. So it was a nightmare for him to juggle, and I think he dealt with it very well in the end. Of course, I went mad in that video because I was just so frustrated with the situation. I maybe went a bit overboard and a bit harsh on the players that played that night. And I did say that in the comments of that video that it may come across very harsh, but I was just generally very angry. Of course, the performance weren't great, but there was difficult circumstances which I did take into account. But when you are that frustrated and you're that sort of passionate about something, you kind of go overboard, and that was my bad. But so it looks to me, looking at that statement, it seems as if they've sort of gone straight past and above the EFL because they were useless and they weren't helping matters at all before the Wimbledon game, and they've gone straight to Public Health England to get advice on it, probably to see what kind of sanctions or almost punishments the EFL would be legal of giving if we have to do this, because the EFL have pretty much said if we were to postpone the game against Wimbledon, the offer was there, we could have postponed it, but there would be an investigation with potential sanctioning, which, we don't want that. And because when we were asking about what these kind of sanctions or punishments, or what they entail, apparently they were just being very, very vague. They weren't really giving clear answers. So I can kind of understand why the game went ahead, because you'd shit yourself, even though you know that you shouldn't be playing this game, the EFL have compromised you and put you in such a difficult situation that you feel like you're going to get punished either way. So the EFL they're terrible. They're just awful at what they do. I don't know who the hell runs that shithole, because they just seem to make mistake after mistake after mistake. They've destroyed clubs in the past. They've dealt with COVID in general very, very poorly, in my opinion. And it's just a nightmare to deal with, and they're just a terrible, awfully run governing body. But on the footballing side, it is a massive shame. It's come at such a poor time. We beat Lincoln, who were second in the league at the time, 4-0 away from home. It looked like everything was rosy. Then COVID, not for the first time this year, has ruined people's days, ruined people's lives, and the football as well, of course, and other sporting events. But it's just got in the way. Typical. As soon as we start to look like we're onto something, and now we have to take 10 days off, or some of them a minimum of 10 days off with no training, and then only a couple of days later, after they do come back from training or onto training on the 27th, they have to play a game against Accrington Stanley. So it's just become a massive mess. This season isn't a normal footballing season. Of course, health has to come first, but we are talking about the football here, and it's just making an absolute mess of it, which again is a huge shame. But that's pretty much it, guys. So there's going to be no match previews or reviews. I don't know whether you'll be happy to hear that for a short while, and the lads get Christmas off, which is convenient for them as well, I guess. And if you want to look at the bright side of anything. But you guys, let me know what you think of the decision down below. I'd find that very interesting. So leave a comment down below and like the video if you have enjoyed, subscribe and all that nonsense. But for now, you take care and stay jamming.